Did you know the British passport has just slipped out of the world's top 5 for travel freedom? Once considered a golden ticket, it's now facing more restrictions, more rejections, and more closed doors than ever before. In 2025, something unexpected is happening. Countries that once rolled out the red carpet for British travellers are now tightening their borders, changing their rules, or shutting the door entirely. From political tensions and cultural clashes to old colonial baggage and visa reciprocity battles, being a Brit abroad just got a whole lot more complicated. And here's the twist, it's not just 1 or 2 destinations, it's a growing list. Some of the world's most popular hotspots, dream vacation escapes, and even long-time allies are quietly making it harder for Brits to enter. So, which countries are saying enough is enough? And what does it really mean for the future of British travellers? Stick around, because some of the names on this list will absolutely shock you. Let's start with Saudi Arabia. For years, the kingdom has been reinventing itself with its Grand Vision 2030 plan, turning deserts into futuristic cities and ancient ruins into tourist magnets. But behind the glossy ads and luxury projects, British travellers are finding a much less welcoming reality. While the e-visa system technically includes UK citizens, many are now facing endless processing delays, unexplained denials, and stricter entry conditions. The reasons? A cocktail of politics and perception. With the UK government frequently voicing criticism over Saudi Arabia's human rights record, relations between the two nations are frosty. Add to that growing unease about cultural clashes, social media controversies, British tourists posting photos in revealing clothes, or public displays of affection that go against Saudi customs, and you get the picture. In 2025, Saudi Arabia may look open for business, but for Brits, it feels more like jumping through hoops, answering invasive questions, and praying the entry stamp actually lands in your passport. Now, think about Malaysia. Once a paradise escape where Brits could enjoy 90 days visa-free, it was the perfect balance of beaches, culture, and affordability. But things have changed. In January 2025, Malaysia revised its visa rules, cutting down UK stays to just 30 days in some areas. Why? The rise of digital nomads, many from the UK who were living, working, and stretching out their stays without contributing properly to the economy. Malaysian authorities finally had enough of visa runs, that old trick of leaving the country for a day just to reset your stay. Immigration officers are now far stricter, even refusing entry to those who look like they're pushing their luck. Some Brits are being questioned for hours, while others are sent straight back home. The message is loud and clear: contribute legally, or don't bother coming. Turkey is another one of those destinations where things appear fine on the surface. The bazaars still buzz, the beaches are still packed, and Cappadocia's skies are still full of hot air balloons. But beneath that postcard beauty, the ground has shifted. In 2025, more and more British travellers are facing extra questioning at airports, visa delays, or sudden denials. This isn't randomette political. UK foreign policy, especially its support for certain Kurdish groups, has rubbed Turkey the wrong way. And while no official ban exists, the silent cooling of relations is being felt at the border. Add to that the frustration over rowdy British tourists, particularly in party towns like Bodrum and Marmarisand. Suddenly the welcome feels more watchful than warm. Turkey hasn't closed the door, but it has made the frame a lot narrower. Then there's the United States. The so-called special relationship between the UK and the US has always been a source of pride. But in 2025, it's feeling less special and more strained. Brits can still travel under the ESTA waiver, but more travellers are being flagged for enhanced screenings, longer interviews, and, yes, those frustrating suitcase rummages. Officials won't say they're targeting UK citizens, but reports keep piling up of Brits being pulled aside, especially if they're solo travellers or heading to less touristy regions. Even families on holiday are being asked for proof of jobs or bank balances. It's not a ban, not even an official policy, but it's definitely a vibe. The Statue of Liberty still lifts her lamp, but for British tourists, the light is a little dimmer and the welcome a lot less warm. Bali, Indonesia, once a carefree paradise, now a cautionary tale. For years, the island has been flooded with tourists chasing sunsets and yoga retreats. But the bad behaviour of foreigners, many of them, British has tested local patience. From influencers disrespecting temples to wild parties spilling into sacred spaces, Bali has had enough. In 2025, new visa quotas, cultural orientation briefings, and tighter checks are all part of the new reality. Brits are finding themselves questioned, delayed, or even rejected on arrival. Those who do get in are being closely monitored. Bali isn't banning British travellers outright, but the message is clear: show respect or don't come. And then there's Russia. For UK citizens, Russia is no longer just a tricky destination, it's practically a no-go zone. Since the invasion of Ukraine, UK-Russia relations have collapsed. The UK has imposed sanctions, and Russia has hit back with bans and blacklists. British visa applications are now routinely denied. Flights are scarce, and even those who manage to enter face surveillance and suspicion. It's not just unsafe, it's unwelcoming. The rich culture and sprawling landscapes remain, but for Brits in 2025, Russia is closed, period. Brazil offers a different kind of roadblock. This time, it's all about reciprocity. For years, Brazil allowed UK citizens to enter visa-free, while Brazilians faced a long and costly process to get into the UK. In 2025, Brazil decided enough was enough. Now British travellers must apply for visas in advance, provide financial documents, and wait weeks for approval. It's not impossible, but it's inconvenient. Many Brits are shocked to find out they can no longer just hop on a flight to Rio or dance at Carnival on a whim. Brazil isn't trying to shut out tourists, but it is sending a message. Respect goes both ways. South Africa follows a similar pattern. Long tied to the UK by history and culture, it was once seen as an easy destination for Brits. But in 2025, the visa-free perk is gone. British citizens now have to apply, submit biometric data, and sometimes attend consular interviews. The change stems from frustration with the UK's own strict rules on South African travellers. High rejection rates and long waits created resentment, and South Africa has finally mirrored the treatment. It's not hostility, but it is a reminder that privilege has limits. China presents a more subtle but equally challenging situation. There's no outright ban, but the visa process has turned into a labyrinth. Applications that used to be processed in weeks now drag on for months, with added requirements like sponsorship letters and detailed itineraries. It's not just bureaucracy, it's politics. With tensions high over Hong Kong, human rights and trade restrictions, China has quietly made it harder for Brits to visit. Tourists, journalists and academics alike are all caught in the net of political scrutiny. And finally, India. Perhaps the most symbolic shift of them all. With its deep, complicated ties to Britain, India has always been both familiar and fascinating for UK travellers. But in 2025, that familiarity is breaking down. Visa delays are long, questions are tougher, and approvals are less certain. On the surface, it's just a policy change. But beneath, it reflects India's frustration with what it sees as British hypocrisy blocking Indian students and workers while expecting easy access for tourists. The door isn't closed, but it's certainly heavier, colder, and more conditional than ever before. So, what does this all mean? In 2025, the British passport still opens many doors, but fewer than it used to. The shift is clear. Travel freedom can no longer be taken for granted. Political tensions, cultural sensitivities, and global reciprocity are reshaping the way the world treats UK citizens. The days of assuming automatic access are fading fast. Now here's the question for you. Have you personally felt these changes while travelling? Have you ever been delayed, questioned, or even denied entry? Share your story in the comments below. We actually read every single one. And if you want to stay ahead of these global shifts, make sure you hit that subscribe button. At EMVs, we dig deep into the trends that affect your freedom to move, explore, and connect with the world. It's just one click, but it means the world to us.